Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. It is your girl, Miss Honey, here with another video. If you guys are a member of my channel, if you have your notifications on, then you got the community post that I put up earlier today. And this was after I saw a video regarding Derek Jackson and his wife, Denia. And I actually watched a channel called What's the Tea, Sis? And I don't know the lady, like I'm not familiar with her, you know, I just always watch her channel. I like the way she does celebrity news. I like the way she does her videos. And I can't really recall her name, but that is the name of the channel. I don't know that I ever had her name, but that is the name of her channel. And she's a wife and a mom, and she seems very sensible. And she seems very, ethical to me. So that's one of the reasons why I recommended the video, in hopes that you guys would go and watch it. I didn't feel like I needed to come on here and post those videos and those posts, because what we do over here is not like reporting. It's really more reactionary, and it doesn't really need all that paperwork, in my opinion. If you guys would prefer paperwork and all that stuff, y'all let me know. Please let me know. But what we do over here typically is we just react and we talk about how we feel about it. And so I posted the link for her video earlier today, in the hopes that you guys would go and watch it. And then I'm just going to come on here with my reaction and my feelings about the whole situation. And then we're going to chat it up about it down below. You guys know this is what we do. We get to the meat of the matter in the comments. And so I am very interested in what you all have to say, what you all have seen, and what your reaction to the content was, because I had a very, very strong reaction to it. One, as a Christian, I definitely had a strong reaction, because the first thing I thought about was, I hope I don't come off like this. I hope I don't come off in a way that is, demonstrative in terms of what my belief system is, especially because I do a daily devotional, and I never want people to feel like I am pushing, or I am demanding, or I just don't want to come off in this really demonstrative type of way. And I was thinking this because there were several parts to this video that what's the tea, sis had put up. And first it was like just a little snippet of her Facebook posts, and then I'm not sure she has IG, and then like a second type of post, a little bit of a video that she had done early on, I think. And then she closed out her video with the most recent video that Denia had done. Now, so let's just talk a little bit about what's going on, if you don't know. Derek Jackson, who is supposed to be a relationship guru, he's supposed to be several things. I think he's like a relationship guru and a life coach and dating expert, something like that. I'm very familiar with him. I think I may even follow him on IG, and he has done these side by side reactions that people do, like on TikTok, like where the individual is on one side and then they're watching, the video, supposed to be watching the video on the other side of the screen and kind of reacting to it. And I remember he had some good things to say early on when he first started coming on IG. I remember thinking, okay, yeah, that's solid advice. And then as time went on, he was reacting to things that I personally was just like, how people get on this social media and they're really just being, they're just really doing things to get a rise out of people, to get views, to get shares, to go viral. And he was reacting to some of these things that people were saying just to be, like I said, just to get a rise out of people, to get people to say, what? I can't believe you said this, and how do you dare, you yada, yada, yada. And he was reacting to some of those things. It wasn't that what he was saying wasn't solid information, but it just seemed odd to me that he would even dignify it. You know what I mean? But this was his brand. I've never seen any pictures of him in anything other than like a suit or a nice shirt, or videoing in his car. I haven't seen all of these photos that I'm seeing now where he is looking kind of buff and he's posed up and he's showing his little V down there, I never saw, I never saw any of that on IG, but if it don't come up in my feed, it's not like I go to his page and see what he's talking about, right? Anyway, I also slacked up, even so on IG, you'll see like 10 seconds of a video and then it'll say keep watching, and then you'll hit it and then you'll go to like IGTV or something and you can watch the entire video, right? Like a much longer segment of the video. And, I would go, he would be saying something and I'll be like, oh, that's really good. And then I would hit keep watching, and then I would go over and he would continue on with what his advice was or whatever his opinion was. But it's little stuff like little mannerisms was pissing me off. It was coming across cocky. It was coming across like you stupid and I'm smart. And to me, it was elementary, right? Like what he was saying was elementary. I'm 50 years of age. I'll be 51 this year. And it was stuff I knew. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't revolutionary. It wasn't. I honestly, you can go listen to any of the video. It's not revolutionary. It really, to me, was like a reminder for women. And anyway, evidently women were fawning all over this, right? Like he was spewing, wisdom from the seed of God. And then men were upset because men felt like he was telling the game, right? He really was selling the game. Speaking of which, I think that's how I initially found him, was because I had gone to an event where they played this game. Well, he has this game. He has two versions of it. The first version was like a super duper hit. That's the version that I played at this event. It was really, really good. It's a relationship game. It's a really, really good game. Like I really enjoyed it. But you go to his website, and it's a little pricey, but it was sold out. So I never got the game. He had a second version to that game, but I didn't want it. I had already played the first version and I liked that version, and that's the one I wanted. You know, I'm particular. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's a very smart game. As an African American, there's not a lot of relationship games out there that I feel like African Americans can relate to. So I was excited to get the game. You know, I'm a game collector. I enjoy um, couples games and group games and things like that. You know, so it was something I wanted to put in my collection. Um, but anyway, like I said, I kind of stopped going to keep watching because I didn't care for his mannerisms. Like I said, he comes across kind of cocky. I don't know if cocky is completely the feeling, you know, is completely sums up the feeling that I had watching him, but he does this thing with his head where he's just like, you know, and it comes across a little pious. I didn't care for that because um there's an art, I'm telling you, to giving people tough advice. There's an art to being critical with people and not coming across as a penis, right? You know what I mean when I say penis, okay? All right. And I just, you know, I don't think he was as bad as Kevin Samuels, this guy that other people are raking across the coals. Like that guy is full on a real butthole. Like he's a complete douchebag. Like I don't even mind telling you. Anyway, so apparently this vlogger, Tasha K, who peddles a lot of celebrity smut, um, came on and she exposed him basically for being a cheater. Now, at first I wasn't really shocked because um I didn't think too much of it. One, because of the source, and two, because I never thought. Now, I didn't know he was married. A lot of people I heard on Really B's channel, she was saying she didn't know he was married. And some other people, you guys check out Really B TV. I knew he was married. I think I've heard a couple of his posts on IG where he mentioned his wife, right? It's not a lot. I'm not saying he does it a lot, but I do know that he was married, and I do know that that's where I got it from. But I always thought he was talking about he was talking from his own experience. I always thought that he was talking from his own experience. I never thought he was sitting up here and looking down there and saying, you know, you should not, you yada yada yada. I thought he was giving us the tea, like he was letting you know, if a dude do this, he's probably yada yada yada, right? And always thought he was speaking from his own experience. I always thought that he was talking about it in that way because I mean, with such definitive energy, because he himself was into it. Like he had done it. He had run all the game. You know what I mean? I didn't think he was cheating on his wife, but I definitely think he had been out there. I mean, he's a good looking guy, been out there, and you know, he's got a lot of notches under his belt, right? And so anyway, it comes out that he said out of his own mouth, all of these infidelities come out, and then he comes and he does a video with his wife. I think initially he denied it, which again, I always wait for stuff to kind of unfold, just to see what's really going on. You know, usually if you give it 3 or 4 days, it fleshes itself out a little bit more, and you can talk intelligently on it. So first he denied it, is from what I understand, and then he comes out with his wife, and she's there. And the one photo I had seen of her, she always looked like Girl Next Door, but she was, pressed. She was pressed. It wasn't anything elaborate or glamorous, but she was pressed. Here she's sitting with him, and they're holding hands. I mean, and he's holding her hand tight. When I first saw it, I thought he's afraid. He's afraid that she's going to leave him. And, this is the body language of a person that wants to hold you close so that you won't go anywhere. I couldn't figure out if the hat that she had on her head was a bonnet or a beret, or if it was like my little satin lined caps. You know what I mean? I wasn't sure. And she had on all dark clothing. He spoke, she spoke, and he admitted that I think they've been together 4 years. And he said that out of 4 years, he's probably been faithful to his wife for 6 months. Or something like that. Now that kind of blew me away. I was like, wow. So that's what the scuttlebutt really is about, is that you present day married. Most people don't know you married. You out here posting pictures of your V and your abs and your arms and stuff. And you married, and I saw in some of those, advice snippets, he had a car seat in the back. So I believe they got children. And it was crazy. Like, I was just like, wow. Everybody was attacking his wife. That's kind of why I went and found the video, because at first I saw the memes of people picking on the fact that she had that bonnet on, and she had something that looked like a bonnet on. And then so she does this response video about her appearance, and she is talking in religious speak, right? And if you've been in church any amount of time, you know what I mean by religious speak. Same kind of stuff John Gray's wife did when he had stuff going on, and she came out there and started talking about, she put the word of God on that demon and yada, 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 speaking about the other woman. But it wasn't that harsh. She was just saying that, she shouldn't have to come on there looking a certain way, dressed a certain way, and given this certain energy. She shouldn't have to do that. And that's not who she is, And I'm like, okay, you're a chick that wears glasses. You don't prefer any other form, contacts or whatever. I get it. You're not necessarily into fashions. I get all of that, nor should you have to be. I mean, he chose her as she is, although she's a beautiful woman. No makeup, glasses, bonnet, everything. Well, she still had this hat on. Anyway, I like I said, it was a lot of religious speak and conversation, but in this conversation, it was slightly empowering. So I wasn't too thrown off. I could see how it was very repetitive, and she was being very demonstrative about it, like sitting up at the end of her chair and being, very. And so I just put a pin in it, right? So fast forward, I'm looking at What's the Tea, and she's talking about how Denia has done this second video, and it is out on Facebook, and now she is in a camouflage top. She wasn't in fatigues. She was in a camouflage top. And she had this same hat on, except now it was positioned differently and it looked more like a beret. It didn't look as much like a bonnet, right? So, before that, she read her posts, and she had some pretty disturbing posts. Once, the young lady from What's the Tea Sis she read 2 posts. She went through the first one, and I actually stopped it and, blew it up so I could read. And it was alarming. It was alarming. Apparently, she's been violated as a young person. Apparently she's had some same-sex encounters. Apparently she has become enamored with some of the women that he has been with. And apparently some of those women are some of her friends. I don't know if it's a situation where, they were in this particular lifestyle. I don't know if these are things that she did so she could please her husband. They've only been married 4 years, but apparently they were high school sweethearts and that type of thing. I don't know, but the conversation in those posts was disturbing to me. And so What's the Tea Sis ends her video. Instead of with her own commentary, she lets Denia's last video, the one where she was in a camouflage shirt, play. And when she does, I promise you, chills went up my spine. I promise you. And it was in this moment I recognized Denia. Denia is me. Right? Denia is me. It was very familiar to me because I personally have had a type of breakdown before, right? Where something had happened in my life and it just spun me. And it put me in this place where I overcompensated for what was going on. I overcompensated for the shame I felt, the guilt I felt, the regret, all of those things. I overcompensated it with religious speak. I overcompensated it with Christ. It's possible. I overcompensated it with church, morning service, evening service, afternoon service, evening service, Wednesday, every event, I overcompensated. I became uber religious, right? And it's not to convince you, because you can see in that last video, and she was taking those breaths. This was conversation she had rehearsed with herself. She had gone over it with herself. This wasn't like this God-given anointing that, just that shot through her and then she's regurgitating it as the vessel, as a means of regurgitating. This wasn't the anointing. No. Okay. This is something she said to herself. Looking at her, I can tell she does not sleep. No, she don't sleep. She sleep when her body put her down. Right? You know what I mean? But she up. I know you, Denia, because I was you. I was you. Not that I was violated as a child. That never happened. I can't relate to that. I can just imagine, right? But it's the things that you've done. It's the things that you've done. It's the things that you've allowed. It's the things that you've participated in. You're trying to erase now with all of this religious rhetoric, with these religious movements, this plain, almost masculine way. You're covering up is what you're doing. You're covering up. You're trying to be as undesirable as possible. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I was concerned when I first saw the video. I thought, I don't want to come across like this. It's kind of like when you're black and you see a crime, the newscaster say something about a crime on TV and you pray that the person isn't black, right? It was that same energy for me. I just felt like, oh gosh, this, people who really love the Lord and talk in love and speak in love and compassion, well-rounded individuals get a raw deal, because people hear others use this type of language either to swindle or to sway. He had some religious words to say while he was, supposedly apologizing and, saying, yeah, I've already talked to my wife about it, trying to wrap it up in a real neat bow and everything. I think that was to satiate her because she's in this uber religious place, right? And but for me, I can really, really tell that Danaya's made some choices, right? She's made some choices, maybe to do some things or to participate in some things or to allow some things, and she regrets it. She regrets it heavily, and she's overcompensating for that by having this uber religious way about her. And I had to kind of shed that thought process. Like, I want to separate myself from her because I love the Lord as well. Although I don't consider myself religious at all, I am definitely spiritual. I definitely believe in the Lord, and I believe in the power of the Lord. I believe in the power of prayer. And I'm not ashamed of that. I make no bones about that. If you follow my daily devotion, I'm for real about it, right? At the same time, I always want people to understand that I'm learning too, right? I'm getting revelation from what we're reading as well. I'm just sharing with you what my thought process is when I read it. And also, I am hopefully able, as the Lord gives me strength, to add some insight. You guys do the same thing for me when you get down in the comment and you give me insight, or you say, this is something that happened to me and this is what I learned, right? Sometimes, shout out to Karen, you guys will get down there and just give me one line, and that one line will just bless me, right? It will click things for me, right? It will be confirmation for me. So I think it's on a different scale, and I don't say that to be like, oh, I'm better than her, but I want to make sure I'm clear about what I feel like the line is. What's going on, I think, with Danaya is, I said regret, and I do think she probably regrets a lot of the actions that she participated in, or she allowed, right? Or she overlooked, however you want to say it. A lot of the times we feel as though some of the things that we've done are completely outside of God, right? The truth of the matter is, he probably told her or showed her long before she married this man that he was not the one. Right? And then she went ahead and married him. And he probably said to her again, I don't know, but I'm just saying, he probably said to her again, get out. Don't do this. Don't continue on with this. And because she wanted to, because she felt like she needed to, because she really didn't trust that what was being shown to her, what was being said to her. She wanted what she wanted. She got what she wanted. Not what she needed, but what she wanted. What you want might make you cry, and what you need might pass you by. Okay? But when you decide that, and it's a difficult thing. I don't even say this lightly. It is a difficult thing, right? Especially if you've been involved with someone for a long period of time. Everything in you tells you that this is the person for you. And even though there is this voice or things that you're seeing that's being shown to you, that's being you're being exposed to, the truth of the matter, you say, I could work with that. I could work around that. I could do that. We could fix this here, right? And you go on and you do what it is you want to do. You go on and you follow your will and not his. I've done it. That's why I say I am denial. I've done it. I've done some things that I don't even want to talk about, right? I've said some things that I don't even want to talk about. Yeah, I've been in more than one situation where I should have been on the side of the road. Dead. Decaying. But grace, right? And when you assert your own will and you usurp God's authority and God's will, confirmation, and you go ahead and do what you want to do, the fallout is yours. That fallout has broken her. That fallout has broken her. And now she is trying to turn the heart of God by being uber religious. It doesn't work. He is not moved by your tears. I'm telling you. He's moved by tears, but he is not moved by your tears, especially when you are in a place of you in that wilderness. You in that wilderness. You feel like you're going mad, but it's just shame. It's shame. It's regret. It's guilt. You're trying to undo what has been done. You're trying to make it pretty. You're trying to make it seem as though you're fine, that you've got on that hold on, like you're coming undone. You're coming undone because you're trying to outrun the shame and the guilt of the thing. Okay? And put all of this religious in front of it. All this religiosity. Okay? You're trying to be a type of guru yourself. Instead of just facing the facts. Instead of just saying, this what I did. This what I did. This is how raggedy. This is how filthy I've been. Right? I admit it. And then pulling yourself out of that thing. You got to pull yourself away, Denia. You got to pull yourself away. And listen, come out. Just come out. Just come out of it. And go somewhere. And hide yourself away for a season. Okay? And release all of that shame and that guilt and that regret. Okay? I'm not saying that it's all Denia's fault. I'm not. But the devil gonna do what the devil gonna do. Okay? He didn't just become this way. He didn't just become this person. He was always this person. Maybe not to this great intensity, not to this height, to this level, but still, he's always been a person that kind of ran her, a person that kind of hid her, a person that kind of shushed her so that he could be heard over her. Okay? And he's probably had these proclivities in terms of sexual deviance. And I don't want to say deviance per se. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying. More than likely, things escalated with them sexually from early on. More than likely, she has answered all of his sexual needs. Okay? Even to her own detriment, doing things that she did not necessarily want to do or to participate in. I'm telling you what I know now. I'm telling you what I know. And now you're in this position where you're being made to feel as though, oh, no, I value you and I love you. But she knows. You can tell by these posts that she is not loved, that she is not valued, that he is running smoke on her. She knows it. And she's spinning out because she's coming to the end of her rope. That's what the spinning is. When you come to this place, who was it? There's a religious singer, and I don't know if it was Kim Burrell or if it was someone else, but she talks about how she was on coke real bad. But I had a praying grandmother, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. But she talks about how that she was, that everything was good. It was great. It was great. It was great. It was great. And she was coked up and she was partying and hanging out. And one day she took this bump, and this hit and she spiraled and boom, she was overdosing. That's when she said, but I had a praying grandmother, right? Because of the prayers of her grandmother, she didn't OD. But she got to where the rubber met the road. Her back was against the wall. You know what I'm saying? Push came to shove. Denia is in a place where pushes come to shove. Because it's not her secret anymore. We all know now. We all know. It's exposed. Yeah. It's exposed. And listen, sis, it's okay. We all filthy. Come on now. Ain't none of us worthy. None of us. None of us. There is not one human living. Not your mama, not your grandmama. Okay? Queens, kings. That is worthy. We come into this world. We're born into sin. Don't make it right. Don't make it right. But don't give up to this place where you can't say, hey, listen, I'm so wretched. I'm so wretched. I've done some things that I find unspeakable. Please forgive me. Please help me. Please help me to turn and change from these things. And I don't think that she hasn't turned and changed. I just think they're exposed now. And it's a shame. It's a type of shame that's on her that's causing her to overcompensate. But you got to take your power back. You got to take your power back, right? You get off of that camera. Get off of it, okay? Because the devil just uses it, constantly uses it. Stop talking to people. He uses that too. Doubts, fears, negative, he uses it. And it does not matter how much you say, like she said, oh, I put on this whole armor. This is, you see a shirt, but this is the armor, and this is the helmet and the shield of, you know, and the sword. Like, no, it's just rhetoric. It's just rhetoric until you say, I am filthy. I am filthy. I'm a wretch. Lord, I need your help. And steal yourself away. Steal yourself away somewhere. Okay? Where you can hear the voice of God. Where you don't have no distraction. Whether it's from a man, you and your babies, or your baby. Go somewhere. Go. And hide yourself away for a season. And then come back with a testimony. And then come back with the truth. You ain't got to tell me the truth. You ain't got to tell none of us the truth. But the truth will be apparent. Authenticity will be apparent. And it won't be this rhetoric. It won't be this wall of rhetoric. That's one thing I've said before, and I'll say it again. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. You know what I'm saying? You can't come and tell me blah. What about yeah? I'll be like, oh, girl. Whoo, that was a mess. I thank God. I thank God I was able to come out of that thing whole. You know what I mean? I'm free now. I don't live with that shame. I don't live with that guilt. I don't. And I will say I still have regret. I have regret because I should have never, ever turned from God. I should have never decided I was going to do what I wanted to do. When all along he was telling me, don't do it. Go back. Stop. Abort. And I was like, I already gave people my word. I done got rest. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready to go. Every time it was just another weight around my neck until I got to this place where, boom. I realized this not how I want to live. This not how I want to be. And I'm acutely sensitive to it now, which is why last year when I felt like I was on this up and down roller coaster type situation, I quickly got off. This year I had decided to do this devotional because I wanted to keep this connection. Okay. I wanted to be a person that added to and not took away in this world. I wanted to take my power back from this whole panoramic situation and you know, being quarantined and all of that, you know, and getting mischievous. You can get real mischievous when you ain't got nothing but time on your hands. You can get real mischievous. Okay. And I'm not just talking about in the sexual connotation. I'm talking about eating. I'm talking about drinking. Yeah, you can get real mischievous. And before you know it, you be out on the deep end of the ocean, boo. You got to constantly check yourself. But more importantly, you got to maintain a standard and not go below that. When the devil gets you to come down, when he gets you to get up under your own bar and standard and wallow with him, it's not about you. It's about the kingdom. It's about your purpose and your calling. I do believe Denia has a purpose and a calling, and I do believe it has to do with motivation. I do believe right now, though, she has to go and heal. She has to go and heal, and she cannot heal with him. You've got to forsake this man. You've got to do it. You got to forsake him. Shake him. Shake him. And then deny him. Okay? Which means you don't hear from him. You don't speak to him. And steal yourself away. And let the Lord remake you and renew you. And you come out with a testimony that will make his book sales, make his guru, make his viewership look like crumbs. Crumbs. Okay? What God has put in you to give to other people, to give to other women, okay? To encourage the world, a broken world, a wounded world, a dejected world. What he got is manipulation. It's fleeting. It's fleeting. What you got is without repentance. Don't let him rob you. Don't let him rob you. Don't do it. Don't do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys tell me what you think. What did you see? Put it down below. Do you agree with me? It's okay if you don't. You guys know that. We have healthy debate. I'm just telling you what I saw because I lived it. I lived it. I'm not saying I had a man that cheated on yada, 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 but I know those feelings. I know that over religious cover up. I recognize it. Where you're overcompensating, trying to wash yourself clean in religiosity. And it does not work. The only thing that washes you clean is admitting and turning and changing, i.e. repenting. That's it. That's all. And you ain't got to go into no great building to do it, friend. You can do it right there where you sit. You can do it right there where you sit. You can do it right there where you stand. Yeah. Okay, you guys, remember to keep Denia in your prayers. Remember to keep me in your prayers as I pray for you. Each and every one of you. I hope you guys have a absolutely positively wonderful evening. I cannot wait for us to talk about this down below. Okay, until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I holla.